to 5-8, and the Dolphins fall to 8-5.
And after leading the Buccaneers to a come-from-behind victory over the Lions last week, this king is one step away from leading his subjects to the promised land. With help from Warren Sapp and the NFC's most feared defense, the Bucs have been crushing their opposition en route to a 6-game winning streak. Today, in a battle of the swashbucklers, the Bucs sail into Oakland, where the Raiders look to keep playoff hopes alive. So the team that would be king follows the kid who is king right now, Sean King, into Oakland, as they face the 6-7 Raiders, Week 15 of the NFL on Fox. The Buccaneers come in at 9-4 and in first place in the NFC Central. With a win, they will clinch only the 5th playoff berth in franchise history. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kurt Menefee along with Brian Baldinger. And you know what? Sean King this week truly has been the king of all media. Everywhere you look, all around the country, publications have been honoring the kid, but why not? He's won 2 straight starts, and the team is riding a 6-game win streak. But, Baldy, that was all at home time to find out what he can do on the road.
Oh, yeah, Kurt, it was long live the king last week, and for good reason. 2 big second-half comeback victories. But now the next test is to take it on the road. And one thing that we've seen from Sean so far, very poised and confident. He also has a live arm. He throws the deep ball very well. But most importantly, this kid has been very smart with the decision-making with the football.
Now, as for the Raiders, they can still make the playoffs if they win all their games, and that starts here today, and it starts with the 2 guys they got on defense in the middle.
Well, the defense has to play much better, especially against the run, than they did 10 days ago against Tennessee. And Darrell Russell and Russell Maryland's job today is to shut down that power inside rushing attack of the Buccaneers and then be able to put pressure on Sean King.
Well, the Buccaneers know a little something about defensive tackle, especially a guy named Sapp.
To the wall. Let's dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate!
Yeah, baby. Welcome to Oaktown. We're going to grab him by the Buccaneers. We're going to throw him down. We're in Oaktown now. Ho, ho!
Perfect day in Oakland, 58 degrees, nice and warm for December. We go down to the field for the 3rd member of our crew, Brian Weber, who's with the Buccaneers head coach, Tony Dungy.
All right, Kurt. Tony, Sean King has played with so much composure. How do you think he'll handle the extra pressure of his first road start?
Well, it's tough on the road, but he played in Seattle and did a great job in that noise and that environment. Raiders have a great defense, so they have his work cut out for him.
Appreciate your time. Let's go back to Kurt and Brian.
All right, thank you. Brian, Sean King has won his last 16 games, last 14 at Tulane. First 2 starts here in the NFL. How do you think he's going to fare here on the road?
Well, you know, just like Tony said, 3 weeks ago, they went up to Seattle when Seattle was 8-2. Sean King came off the bench that day in the second half, threw a touchdown pass to Dave Moore. So I think with Sean King and the Bucs, the fact that they came up here to the Northwest just 3 weeks ago, you know, they're in the same rhythm, the same schedule right now. They feel like they can do the same thing.
And, of course, he came in when Trent Dilfer broke his collarbone and was done for the year. We got 2 of the brightest young minds in the National Football League as head coaches today. John Gruden, just 36 years old in his 2nd year, trying to lead the Raiders turnaround. And we saw Tony Dungy in his 4th year with the Bucs. A win today, and the Buccaneers make the playoffs. Martin Gramatica with the kickoff. Little split kick right down the middle. Napoleon Kaufman picks it up. Shoe goes flying. Down to the 15-yard line is Kaufman. Alshimon Singleton on the return. Rich Gannon, having his best year statistically as a quarterback, leads the Raiders into battle. Solid front 5 for them. Collins, Wisniewski, Barrett Robbins, Barry Sims, the free agent rookie, and Lincoln Kennedy, the backs and receivers, John Ritchie, Tyrone Wheatley, Brown, Jett, and Ricky Dudley is the tight end.
Yeah, you mentioned Barry Sims, the free agent rookie right there. His job, a lot of today, is going to be Warren Sapp. In his first entry into this league, he had Bruce Smith at left tackle, mentally tough kid.
First down, they go play action. Quick pass, almost intercepted. That ball hit Hardy Nickerson right in the hands. Nickerson and this Buccaneer defense playing as well as you could play right now up front. Sapp and Culpepper, 2 of the leading defensive tackles in the league. We got a great battle between the tackles. Marcus Jones make his
first start, replacing Steve White, who was injured at the right end spot. Brooks, Nickerson, and Quarles, the linebackers, and the defensive backfield, Rondé Barber and Donnie Abraham, the corners, Robinson and Lynch, the safety.
Yeah, Derek Brooks right there playing as well as any linebacker in football. He'll earn a trip to Hawaii again this year.
On second down, Gannon. Over the middle, pass complete. Ricky Dudley, the tight end, good enough for the first down. A pickup of 13.
Well, that's a weapon that the Raiders have to get involved in this game today. Now, I was talking to Jim Erkenbeck, the tight end coach, before the game, and here's Dudley in a two tight end set just going to come across the middle. He said, who coached Tony Gonzalez in Kansas City last year, said this kid runs better than Tony Gonzalez, he's faster, and a bigger target.
The only question about him has been his hands since he's come out of Ohio State.
He did a good job of using his body to catch that one.
First down from the 29. Tyrone Wheatley, his first carry into the open field. Nice battle all the way out to the 44-yard line. A gain of 15 before John Lynch gets it.
Well, Tyrone Wheatley has been a different guy since he came out to the West Coast this year. Nice inside blocking here. You see Culpepper on this side right here of the center. Barrett Robinson. Good job of Barry Sims taking over on that and breaks the tackle of Hardy Nickerson. Nickerson, who came back home, went to school here right in Berkeley. Dropped the interception and missed the tackle, or maybe a little too excited early in this game.
Raiders, two tight ends in. Whitley alone in the backfield, gets the carry. Some more running room out across midfield, steps out of bounds at the 46. Donnie Abraham pushes him out, but 10 more yards for Wheatley.
Well, Tyrone Wheatley has become a thumper since he's gotten here. A guy that uses that big 230 pounds, running to the right behind Lincoln Kennedy and Ricky Dudley. Opens up that hole. And here's Dudley now. You know, good stiff arm on Donnie Abraham right there. Able to pick up the first down. And that's what John Gruden has always liked in his offense. Remember in Philadelphia, he had Ricky Waters in that role. A guy he liked to feed it to 20 times a game.
Wheatley's really turned it around since coming here from Miami, actually, where he was in training camp this year. He's out of the game now. Napoleon Kaufman gets the carry.
Well, sir, both these teams offensively are really similar in the way that they utilize the running backs. That's Napoleon Kaufman. He's the change of pace back with Tyrone Wheatley. Just the way Tampa Bay utilizes Allstott and Dunn. And with Napoleon Kaufman and Dunn, both of them can hit the home run at any time. So you beat them up in the middle with Tyrone Wheatley, and then you try to get Kaufman to the outside.
Gain of 4, 3 receivers for the Raiders, 5 defensive backs for the Bucs. Gannon with time. Complete. James Jett. Jett was open there, 17 yards on the reception, and this Raider offense, very difficult to stop at times, and we see why here.
They've moved the ball on everybody, but today, look at the offensive line right here. Especially these 4 guys over here, Mo Collins and Wisniewski. They eat up the stunt right here and pick that up well. And look at that nice black wall right in front of them. Silver and black wall allowing Gannon to go downfield to Jett.
Raiders with another first down from the 25. They came into this game with the 5th-ranked offense in the National Football League. That's Napoleon Kaufman. The Buccaneers all season long, their Achilles heel has been the first quarter of football games. They've been outscored 79-31, getting off to a slow start just about every week.
Well, one thing that Tony Dungy said is he said that a lot of teams attack us differently than we see them attack other teams on film. And one thing that he gave credit to was his defensive coordinator, Monty Kiffin and Herman Edwards. They're able to make adjustments and then change up and stop the offense.
5 yards on the pickup for Kaufman. Play action. Gannon gets it off John Ritchie. Can't hold on. Incomplete.
That time the Buccaneers came with the blitz. They blitzed outside linebacker Shelton Quarles, who came free and was able to pressure Rich Gannon into that short, quick throw.
Just the second incompletion of this drive and of this game so far for this Raiders offense. We talked about them being 5th in the league. The Buccaneer defense 2nd in the league statistically.
Well, the Raiders have 3 first downs on this drive. They lead the National Football League in average first downs per game.
3rd and 5. They need the 15 for the first down.
Gannon changed the play right now.
Play clock winding down. He gets it off just in time. Pass complete, good enough for the first down, and then some. Tim Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. He's ageless. 20 yards, Rich Gannon to Tim Brown.
Classic underneath route. Dudley and slot receiver cleared things out, allowed Tim Brown to come underneath. Gannon gave it to Tim Brown in perfect location to be able to run with it after the catch.
Joe Nedney on for the extra point. Nedney just signed on Tuesday. This is his first action of the season. Hits right down the middle and the crowd cheers. Tim Brown, 20-yard reception, puts the Raiders on top 7-0 after one possession.
They're out right here and allows Tim Brown to come underneath here on one-on-one cover. And Tim Brown will take that anytime he can get it. And again, poor tackling by the Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay gets their first possession from the 20. Mike Allstott, the fullback, still dancing around the backfield. They fake the reverse for Sean King set. Eric Barton. Barton making his first start in the National Football League. His first play on defense all year, and he gets a sack.
The Buccaneers try to come out with some trickery right off the bat. Eric Barton, who was blitzing on the play, had no time for it. It looks like they're going to fake this reverse here to Jaquez Green. He just came in front of your screen. Eric Barton not fooled by any of it. And the Buccaneers in a deep hole here in the first possession.
They lose 6 yards on the sack. Second down from the 14-yard line. 2 tight ends in the game. Dave Moore in motion. Warwick Dunn gets the handoff. Fights his way back to about the 10-yard line. Tim Brown, who scored that touchdown, just continues to climb in the Raider book. 75th career receiving touchdown, just one behind Fred Biletnikoff, who is his wide receivers coach here in Oakland.
Freddie saw him out at the practice yesterday. They outlawed all the stick'em. You know, when Freddie went out of the league, they say, well, you can't put that stick'em on the hands anymore.
Yeah, I think Marcus Haynes had a little bit to do with that, huh? Or Lester Haynes, excuse me. Marcus Haynes on the other side, too. All those old Raiders had it. 3rd and 20. They need to get to the 30-yard line for the first. Clear out of the backfield. Carl Williams doesn't get enough for the first down.
Smart decision by Sean King there. Just take what the defense gave him. As the Raiders dropped 8 in coverage that time, only rushed 3 people. Didn't force the ball down there. They were in a hole because of a rather strange call on first down for the Bucs. Bucs really haven't been a team that tried to trick anybody on offense all year.
Mark Royals on for his first punt of the afternoon to Darian Gordon. High booming kick. Gordon calls for the fair catch. Makes it at about the 34-yard line. Royals with a 44-yard punt. Raiders with their second possession of the game, leading by a touchdown. Available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television set. Each team has had the ball once so far this afternoon. The Raiders a bit more successful than the Buccaneers, scoring the touchdown on their possession. Baldy?
Sean King. It's a ball game, Sean. That's him, though. Calm. Doesn't get too rattled by anything. Nice opening drive by the Raiders.
Flags down, 3-play, Tyrone Wheatley dances back to the line of scrimmage, but Chidi Ahanatu, the left defensive end for the Buccaneers, offside.
Yeah, Ahanatu is going to get a 1st and 5 here for the Raiders.
Offside. Defense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
Our referee today, Tony Corrente.
Well, you know, here's Chidi right here. And the fact is that Buccaneer defense was embarrassed on the first series. He's just a little anxious to get out there and try to correct what they did on that first series.
So 5 yards on the penalty. 1st and 5 now for the Raiders. 2 tight ends in. Wheatley alone in the backfield. Gets the carry. Tyrone Wheatley for the first down and then some. Out to the 45-yard line, a gain of 7. Chidi Ahanatu on the tackle.
Well, we saw Barry Sims at the open. Barry Sims right here, along with Robbins, doing a good job on these 2 defensive inside. They both slant to the right. They just take them whatever way they want to go. Warren Sapp stuck to Barry Sims that time. Ran right behind him.
Tyrone Wheatley, 3 carries, 32 yards. Nice start for him. First down. Gannon. Quick pass, complete. James Jets. Rondé Barber slings him down and out of bounds. But Gannon and this Raider offense march down the field the first possession and seems to have it going again this drive.
Well, here's what Gannon is looking at right here. He's looking at this 12-yard cushion that Rondé Barber is getting Jet. And he's giving him that cushion because that's world-class speed. And in Tampa Bay, the Cardinals' thing is don't get beat deep. So they'll give it that to him underneath like that.
They get 6 yards on the first down play. 2nd and 4. Wheatley. Inside. Might even lose a yard on the play there. Damian Robinson and Warren Sapp in on the tackle.
That looked a little bit more like Tampa Bay's defense. A lot of pewter hats to the ball. Sapp this time on a wide 3. That means he's outside shoulder of the guard here, almost over the tackle. You saw Mo Collins try to cut him that time. That's a difficult cut block for that left tackle when Warren Sapp is in that gap.
John Gruden says he thinks he may be the best defensive lineman in all the National Football League right now. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. They need the 45 for the first. Quick pass. Caught. Terry Mickens with the grab and another Raider first down.
Well, Gannon knows exactly where to go with this football. And he's really reading this Buck defense real well. Working on Donnie Abraham here. Just a quick slant right into the hole. Gannon got it to him in a perfect location. It was good that he threw it that low, not allowing any Bucks to come in and knock that ball away.
The Raiders came into this game with the most first downs in the AFC. The Buccaneers giving up the fewest in all the National Football League. And the Raiders have 7 already today, almost half of what the Buccaneers give up for the complete game. Gannon out of the backfield. Zach Crockett spins his way out to the 34-yard line. 7 more yards for the Raiders.
Now this offense is clicking. You know, they've had 10 days off since that loss to Tennessee a week ago on a Thursday night. Gannon right here, look at the time he has to throw this football. Great catch by Crockett, who's more of their short yardage back. But one thing John Gruden was proud of in this offense is how many different people he gets involved in the offense. He runs 5 different running backs in it.
Well, all 5 have been in the game already. Right now you've got Crockett and Napoleon Kaufman and John Ritchie in the backfield right now. Kaufman gets the handoff. And another Raiders first down to the 29-yard line, a gain of 5.
But Kirk, what the running backs have for Oakland right now is what you call softness. You don't see Tampa Bay pushing that offensive line back right now. The offensive line of the Raiders right now is controlling the action. That's what they've been able to do much of the year, and I think the big missing ingredient was that right guard spot. Barry Sims has come in there and really solidified that right guard. It's a pretty solid group at the moment.
First down from the 29. Tyrone Wheatley fights his way out to the 25-yard line, kind of hog-collared by John Lynch, who has something of a homecoming this week, played his college ball at Stanford.
John Lynch is one of those guys. You're going to see John Lynch is going to be coming from this side right here. He's coming from the outside. Just trailing the play, going to catch it from behind.
47 on 47.
You know, what John Lynch does is he plays like a linebacker around the line of scrimmage, but he also is a headhunter from the secondary. 2 different skills there.
Gannon. Incomplete. Pass intended for Ricky Dudley, the tight end. Gannon now 6 of 9, 72 yards passing.
Well, he had Tim Brown open right off the bat on the last play. He didn't think he could get it there, so he went over the middle to Dudley, and Dudley has been his target once he gets to the red zone. Dudley 6 touchdown catches the last 5 weeks.
On 3rd down, the Buccaneers have yet to stop the Raiders on 3rd down this afternoon. They need to get to the 19 for the first. Tim Brown got there, down to the 11. Derek Brooks on the tackle, but 14 more yards on the pickup by Brown.
Well, they did a great job of picking up the blitz this time, allowing Gannon, again, to have time, working on Donnie Abraham. Just a quick slant. Sticky fingers by Tim Brown, and Tim Brown might be the only receiver I know in this league that doesn't wear gloves. This right here is like a web. He's got a bad thumb here, and it's weak, so he ties it to that index finger. but it also gives him a web right there where that ball can kind of stick like a baseball glove.
It's working perfectly so far this afternoon.
Well, he takes his own fingers. While the trainers take his ankles, he takes his fingers.
They get the play off. First down from the 11. Gannon, pass complete. Tim Brown again, down to the 5.
That's quickly becoming the Tim Brown show.
6 more yards.
Look at the hand placement right here. Tim Brown always has his hands up and ready in case he has press coverage, and he has to fight a defensive back off. Right now, Donnie Abraham having a hard time staying with Tim Brown, and the best friend that Donnie Abraham could have right now would be a rushing attack. But because Gannon's getting rid of the ball so quickly, no chance for a pass rush to develop.
Brown had 3 catches for just over 30 yards last week, 3 for 40, and we're still in the first quarter. From the 6, Tyrone Wheatley. Caught in the backfield, brought down Derek Brooks.
Well, if Tampa Bay's defense is going to kick it into gear the way they've demonstrated much of the season, that's the man that usually gets you started.
Brooks having an amazing season. Doing everything you expect. Defending passes, intercepted passes, got 4 interceptions, a couple of sacks.
He's led this team in tackles 9 of the 13 weeks. One thing about Derek Brooks, anytime you take a snapshot out of him, anywhere on the field during a play, he's always in perfect position to make the play.
From the 8-yard line, the Raiders can get the first at the 1. Play clock ran out. Didn't blow the whistle. Ball batted incomplete. They got a free play there, but still unable to take advantage of it.
You know, Ricky Dudley's going to go up in the middle here. That's who Gannon wants at first. He waits on him, and then he tries to find Wheatley. He bounces off his pad. Lucky that ball wasn't intercepted. Get a deflection like that in a compressed area of the field. There's a lot of Buccaneer bodies around to pick that off.
Joe Nedden's first field goal attempt of the season, released by the Arizona Cardinals earlier this year. And it's right down the pipe. The crowd goes nuts. So the Raiders score with their first 2 possessions of the ball game. They lead it 10-0 on a 26-yard kick by Nedden.
It's formed.
Buccaneers 10-0. Tim Brown having a nice afternoon. 3 catches, meaning he's had at least 2 receptions in 106 consecutive games.
First, that's consistency. You're looking for it, that's it.
Riedel Anthony brings it out of his end zone this time. And he's in trouble behind the 10-yard line. Finds some room, though. Gets it out to the 15-yard line before Zach Crockett gets the tackle. Give him 20 yards on the return. Buccaneers trying to get something going behind the rookie, Sean King. The Colts clinched the AFC East and a first-round bye in the playoffs. The Bears beat the Lions. St. Louis all over the Giants. Tennessee clinches a playoff spot by beating Atlanta.
You saw Detroit still having trouble winning on the road, winning on grass.
Baltimore stays in the AFC playoff hunt. Miami does the same. Philadelphia behind Coy Detmer beats the Patriots, and Jacksonville taking care of business against the Browns.
The teams falling and some climbing. The Ravens are climbing, and the Patriots are falling.
First down from the 16-yard line. Warwick Dunn stopped in the backfield. Eric Barton had the sack in the first play last drive. Sean King, the rookie, making just his 3rd start in the National Football League, the first Bucs quarterback to win his first 2 career starts. Up front for him, Gruber, Doggins, Mayberry, Middleton, and Wunsch. The backs and the receivers, all starting Dunn in the backfield. That thunder and lightning combination. Green and Emmanuel, the receivers. Dave Moore is the tight end.
And the Bucs were down 10-0 to the Lions last week, late in the first quarter as well.
Dunn lost a yard on the play, so 2nd and 11. King to the air. Incomplete. Bernie Manuel can't pull it in. The Buccaneers defense standing tall so far this afternoon. Up front for them, we talked about the 2 guys in the middle, Darrell Russell and Russell Maryland. The linebackers, well, you've seen Eric Barton making his first start in the NFL. First action on defense all year. Has been a big contributor so far in 2 series. And the defensive backfield, Charles Mincy, the former Buck, starting for Eric Turner, who's out with a calf injury.
Charles Woodson just had a ball thrown at him. He went the entire Tennessee game 10 days ago. Nobody challenged him once in that game. it was a little bit bored. A little bit like playing in that T-ball league, playing right field and T-ball.
Buccaneers need the 26-yard line for the first. King goes that way. Bernie Manuel reaches out, pulls it in. Ball. It's going to depend on the spot here, whether or not he makes the first down.
He's looking short here, Kurt.
It looks like he might be a yard or two short. Actually, they spotted back at the 24-yard line, so it's 2 yards short.
Sean King real comfortable taking this ball out of the shotgun. That's what he did his last 2 years at Tulane, almost exclusively. He gets rid of that ball quickly, but Bert Emanuel not enough for that first down.
So 2 3-and-outs for the Bucks. Mark Royal to Darian Gordon. Gets a return this time. Can't get any room outside. Nice open field tackle. Jeff Gooch. 43 yards on the punt, -5 on the return. Christmas Eve, it's the Cowboys and the Saints. It's a Fox NFL special. Troy Aikman and the Cowboys try and keep their run for the playoffs alive. Coverage begins with a pregame show at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. Raiders trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. They need to win all 3 of their final games and get a lot of help from some other places if they want to make the AFC playoffs. From the 29. Gannon, quick pass. James Jett, first down. Knocked out of bounds by Rondé Barber and Damian Richardson, 12 yards on the pickup.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of cushion that the Tampa Bay Bucks are giving up to these receivers. A lot of it is respect for jet speed, but this is just too much. Rich Gannon getting rid of this ball quickly. Right now, the Raiders, Brian Kelly and Rondé Barber, they've got to close that gap when they're out there. They're backing up, and they're already 12 yards deep.
That's going to be the last play of the first quarter. The Raiders lead at 10-0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. We're with you in Oakland. The Raiders leading at 10-0. A 20-yard touchdown reception by Tim Brown. And a 26-yard field goal by Joe Nedney. The 2 scores in the first quarter. Raiders lead this all-time series 3-1. But the interesting note, Baldy, is the home team has won every game so far in this young series.
And the Raiders at home here today off to a good start. Of course, John Gruden, 10 days to get ready for this game. And for Boy Wonder, that's a lot of time to tinker with the game plan.
First down from the 43, Tyrone Wheatley. A gain of 4, Damian Robinson on the tackle. So far this afternoon, all Raiders.
Kurt, it's interesting because, Tyrone Wheatley, basically the same run average that he averaged in New York. You look at the yards here today. But he runs so much harder right now and with such a much different attitude.
He really does.
And the other thing that John Gruden said about him was when he was released by Miami, he came out of Jimmy Johnson's training camp in excellent condition. And he's maintained that condition to be able to take the pounding here in the 14th week of the season.
Picks up 5 yards. Gannon under pressure, gets it off incomplete. John Lynch. Free safety bringing the heat. Lynch, of course, had the big interception last week against Detroit to kind of seal that victory for the Buccaneers and put them alone in first place for the first time in December since '81.
Well, it's been this defense that has ignited the offense through much of this 6-game winning streak. That was that fourth quarter interception of Lynch last week, his second of the season. That really got things started for him.
On third down, the Raiders need to get to the Buccaneer 47-yard line for the first. Gannon gets it off incomplete. Pass intended for his favorite guy today, Tim Brown, but Brown couldn't lift it up. So for the first time this afternoon, the Raiders go 3-and-out.
Well, 2 drops, though, by the Raider receivers. Good coverage by Rondé Barber, a nice finish by Barber. But Rich Gannon still all kinds of time to throw this football. If you give Gannon time now, he's going to be able to pick his spots in the passing game.
Leo Araguz has had a rough year so far. His first punt of the afternoon. Carl Williams back to receive for the Bucks. Takes it at his 8. Out to the 16-yard line for a return of 8 after the 45-yard punt. Calvin Branch on the tackle. Buccaneers trailing at 10-0. Back-to-back 3-and-out so far for them this afternoon, but this is the position they're used to being in, trying to come back. The defensive staff getting together, trying to work things out.
That's the game planning and the adjustments that those two guys have made during this 6-game win streak to get them back on track.
Mike Allstott not on track. They knocked the A-train off his track, loses 2 yards. Grady Jackson on the tackle.
Yeah, that's Grady. Built low to the ground. And not the prettiest body. Not going to win any Atlas Awards, but low center of gravity and hard to knock off the football. Grady Jackson right here working in the gap between Middleton and Mayberry. That's a tough block for the center, Tony Mayberry. Yeah, and Grady said, no, you're not coming into my gap.
Brings up 2nd and 11. Warwick Dunn, slow-moving play, flags down. There will be no play.
I think Darrell Russell.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 10, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
And that's on the quarterback, Sean King. Not exactly the start Tony Dungy wanted for him. He mentioned how he wanted to try and get out to a lead and kind of shorten things for him in this game, but nothing going in the first quarter.
The Bucs' identity is to run the football. We said at the open, those guys in the middle, Jackson and Darrell Russell Merrill, and their job was to shut down the run.
Look at the time of possession.
It's just total domination here. Right now, Tampa Bay's had 2 drives, and they've had 2 3-and-outs, 2 strikeouts. And it seems like they've been in the end zone the entire day.
Sean King forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, and that crowd in the back there.
The rookie's first game on the road as a starter, off to a rough start.
The thing in his helmet where he can hear Clyde Christensen, his coach.
Forced him into calling the timeout just to get the play in.
One of those things that you can't practice at home and you have to deal with on the road. And there's Sean trying to echo the signal to all of his skilled guys.
Mike Allstott tries to get him a little bit of room out to about the 17-yard line, or excuse me, the 12-yard line.
No, Kurt, when Sean King changes the play and he audibles, then the center on the offensive line, Tony Mayberry, has to echo all the changes. So he's getting it to Middleton. Middleton then will get it to Jerry once. So communication is hard for everybody. And the result is a very small gain for Mike Allstott.
That's why they call it home field advantage. Bucs need to get out to about the 26-yard line for the first. Out of the shotgun. King complete to Carl Williams. Williams going to be close to the first down marker, knocked out of bounds about a yard short of it by Eric Allen.
Yeah, Sean King's not happy. Yeah, you gotta, when you're on the road and you're down 10-0, you've got to fight for the sticks. Carl Williams had a chance to go for the sticks on the outside here. You know, Eric Allen now is
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer there.
The injured quarterback trying to play official. Mark Royals with the punt to Darian Gordon. Nice kick, gets him back to the 25. And pins him on the sideline as well. Makes it easy for the defense. Punt coverage, knocks him out of bounds. Shevin Smith, 50 yards on the punt. Only 8 on the return. Raiders take it over, up by 10. Sean King, Tony Dungy trying to figure out what's wrong with their offense right now. Raiders take it over, first down from the 32. Tyrone Wheatley piles his way into the crowd. Chidi Ahanotu on the tackle. The playoff picture in the NFC, the Rams, by beating the Giants today, clinch the division and get home field throughout the playoffs, and that's huge for them, especially a team as young as them, not having to go on the road in the postseason.
Well, you know, it was, the team that I'm looking at on the outside, you know, coming in right here is these Panthers. Pretty easy schedule. You know, got the Saints the last game of the season, got Pittsburgh. Team that could be coming up on the outside, nobody's talking about it.
Rich Gannon, pass complete to John Ritchie to fullback. Brought down by Donnie Abraham. Here's the AFC playoff picture. We mentioned earlier about the clinching victories today.
Well,
the Tennessee Titans get in by winning today, and the Indianapolis Colts, by winning today, not only get into the playoffs, but win their division.
Well, that AFC picture, it changes drastically every week. Just 3 weeks ago, the Seattle Seahawks and the Miami Dolphins at 8-2 looked like they were going to be shoo-ins. Both of them struggling down the stretch.
Third down, Raiders need to cross the 42 for the first. Gannon, Tim Brown gets it across the 45-yard line. Another Raider first down. Their 11th of the game. 8 yards on the play.
Well, I tell you, the Raiders are lucky to have Tim Brown in their Christmas stocking this year. Always tell Tim Brown because his hands are always up, ready for action. You know, just a veteran guy, knows where the hole is in the seam, knows how to get down, escape that sandwich hit right there. Knows how to avoid the big collisions. One of the reasons why he's preserved here in his 12th year.
First down for the Raiders from the 45. Tyrone Wheatley picks up 2 yards. Looking at that AFC playoff picture once again, is Tyrone Wheatley slow to get up.
And Tyrone, who's been healthy all season long. There you go.
There you see the Jaguars, Colts, Titans already in the playoffs.
Of course, that AFC West right now still up for grabs. Well, what a year that the Colts have had and continue to have.
There are those Raiders, as we said, need to win all 3 of their games and some help. The Patriots with a big loss today. And the Ravens seem to be coming on here towards the end of the season.
Well, the Ravens won today. They got to 500 with the new coach, Brian Billick. Seem to be settling in with Tony Banks at quarterback.
Their defense has played well all season long. It's just been a matter of getting their offense in gear.
Take a look. Tyrone Wheatley following his fullback, John Ritchie, into the hole, and looked like that was just Shelton Quarles going low on Tyrone Wheatley.
Holding his hip.
Yeah.
You know, Wheatley, his agent says that he's agreed to a new 3-year contract here in Oakland. Came in for just above the minimum after being traded for a 7th-round pick by the Giants to Miami in the offseason and then released by the Dolphins in the preseason.
Well, the Raiders feel lucky to get him. They auditioned about 8 different running backs in preseason. Wheatley ended up sticking.
Gannon pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. Marcus Jones gets a hand in there. Jones, of course, starting today because of the injury to Steve White.
Well, he was a former #1 draft pick in 1996, and really the last half of this season so far, he's really come on. 5.5 sacks, yeah. Hey, he's coming on right here at the right end spot, working on Mo Collins. They're going to set up a screen, a play that they had a lot of effectiveness with against Tennessee, going to Napoleon Kaufman. Nice job by Marcus Jones to get the big paws up.
And when you're 6'6", those paws get up a little bit easier in the quarterback's face. Third down, Raiders need to get to the Bucs 45 for the first. They call a timeout. Rich Gannon not liking what he sees. So each team has used a timeout here in the first half. Raiders hit in the most tender of places by a helmet, so needs to go on the sideline and try and regroup, as they say.
Players don't wear cups anymore. It's too uncomfortable, you know. And
hey, it's uncomfortable when you get hit without one, though.
Yeah, I wish they had it in right there.
Yeah, more uncomfortable. 3rd and 8 for the Raiders. Gannon. Crockett, incomplete. Bounces off the shoulder pads of Zach Crockett. That's the 2nd time that he's hit one of his backs out of the backfield right in the shoulder pads and it's bounced off.
You know, the Buccaneers showed blitz that time. You're going to see showing blitz and then backing back out and forcing Gannon to audible on the play. Look like they're coming. Now they back out. Gannon changes the play and goes to his hot read here. Perfect throw to the back and drop pass.
Aragu's in for his 2nd punt. Carl Williams called for the fair catch. Makes it at the 17-yard line. 36 yards on the punt. The last time these two teams got together, back in November of '96, Tony Dungy's first year as head coach in Tampa. Eric Redd scored the 5-yard touchdown. Harvey Williams on a halfback option, 18 yards to James Jett. But with 8 seconds left in regulation, Cole Ford misses a 38-yard field goal attempt, sent it to overtime. Michael Husted hits a 23-yarder with 3:04 remaining. The Buccaneers with the exciting 20-17 win over the Raiders, their only win in 4 games against the Oakland and Los Angeles Raiders. Sean King on first down. Buys some time. Gets it off to Mike Allstott. Allstott runs a circle and gets it out to the 20-yard line for a gain of 4. Eric Barton on the tackle.
Now, very ineffective the first 3 series for Sean King here. You know, all 3 and outs, all 3 strikeouts. And look at the field position. You know, no field position whatsoever. And again, inside the 20 here. You know, the Raiders right now moving that football. You know, and when they're not, you know, scoring with their drives, they're able to pin the Buccaneers now with good special teams play.
After the 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6. King. Pass complete out of the backfield. Warwick done. And that's the Buccaneers' first down of the afternoon.
Now, one of the things that has to take place for Sean King to execute this offense is good pass protection. Right here, Frank Middleton working on the Pro Bowler, Dow Russell, one-on-one. Nice protection by Middleton. Right square in front of Russell. Russell never gets his hands up. Sean King able to execute the first down of the day for the Buccaneers.
Middleton and that offensive line seems to be protecting a lot better than they did on those first 2 series. After the 11-yard play from the 33. King with time, done out of the backfield again. Races out to the 43-yard line for a gain of 10. Going to be close to the first down marker. But the key seems to be that offensive line and the way they are playing this series as opposed to the first 3 series.
Well, that's true right now, and I think that Warwick Dunn right here in the backfield is just going to slip out into the flat. Warwick, who had his best day receiving of the year last week, 6 catches, over 100 yards. Now, he's been nicked up most of the year. Had a bad ankle, didn't play 2 weeks ago on Monday night against Minnesota. He said he went back and watched high school and college films of himself to show how he was able to make the big plays, and he's trying to get that into this offense now.
He's out of the game. Allstott deep in the eye behind Patrick Haight. Gets the carry. Picks up about a yard. Darrell Russell on the tackle.
One of the things that Tampa Bay is slow to do every week, one reason why they get off to a slow start is they have to get both Allstott and Dunn warmed up. You know, so one guy goes in there, Allstott gets a carry now. No, and he's going to carry that pile. A lot of hidden yardage right there with Michael Allstott. They'll go back and forth seeing which guy is going to be the hot guy. And it takes him about a quarter and a half to do that.
Allstott all alone in the backfield now on 2nd and 8. They take the handoff to him. King, all kinds of time. Still with time.
Still got a lot of time.
What a job by that line, and he scrambles, gets the first down, and steps out of bounds. Roderick Coleman chases him out, but what play by the Buccaneers offensive line.
And what a poor job by the wide receivers of not reacting to what was happening in the backfield. These guys Jacquez Green just continues to run down the field. Never adjusts his pattern here. And there's Bert Emanuel. I mean, they see that Sean King is in trouble now, and they don't really come back to the ball. There had to be 8, 9, 10 seconds there for King. Sean knows where the sticks are. Faced with a tough 3rd down.
Sean King picks up 5 yards, so it's 3rd down and 3. Look at the time again. Incomplete to Allstott. Pass may have been tipped at the line.
Yeah, Roderick Coleman, the rookie this time, gets some pressure on him. Jacquez Green working on the Pro Bowl. Charles Woodson. Well, Jacquez Green there isn't running. I mean, right there, you know, you got to grab Jacquez by the face mask and shake him up. Because unless you press Charles Woodson down the field, he's going to know what to route and when you're on and when you're not.
Mark Royals on for his 4th punt of the day.
You can't run your routes when you know you're going to get the ball.
Yeah. Royals has been the busiest man for the Bucs so far. Short punt. Gets a Buccaneer roll down to the 11-yard line. It's down there. Chevin Smith, 36 yards on the punt by Royals. Aerial shots today is provided by the Goodyear Eagle. one of the global fleet of 6 Goodyear blimps that will be electronically linked together on New Year's Eve to record the arrival of the new century all around the world. Where are you going to be New Year's Eve, Baldy?
I'm going to be right in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, we're doing the Carolina Panthers in what could be a big potential fight for a playoff spot for them.
Very much so. If they end up 9-7, it's going to come down to probably a tiebreaker to see if they can get in or not. Congratulations to George C. for the job he's doing up there.
Nice job by Derek Brooks in the open field there, bringing down Napoleon Kaufman.
I talked about Derek Brooks and just how steady he's playing. You see him right here. Look at the eyes now. He's always in great position to make the play. He plays right behind Warren Sapp most of the time, and that's one of the reasons why you don't see him really blocking. I mean, Warren Sapp does a great job of tying up 2 blockers in the running game, allowing Brooks just to roam free. But most of the times you'll see Brooks stacked right behind Sapp.
Brings Kaufman down for a yard loss, 2nd and 11. Gannon to Kaufman out of the backfield. There's Derek Brooks again.
Yeah, you can feel this defense right now, Kirk, kind of stepping it up. Taking Tim Brown out of it right now in the last 2 series. And what you've seen during this 6-game win streak of the Bucs is that the defense has ignited this team. Derek Brooks right here is going to be working now in pass coverage. Working on his zone right now and able to react once Kaufman gets the ball. And that's a tough open field tackle for Napoleon Kaufman. Well, that's a slippery guy in the open field.
3rd and 10. They need the 22-yard line for the first. Gannon. Over the middle, incomplete. Terry Mickens can't pull it in. Another receiver dropped another ball, and that's been the only thing that stopped the Raiders offense this afternoon.
They're stopping themselves. Derek Brooks in coverage now. We've seen him in the run game. Watch him get to his zone now. Now react.
That's the 4th drop of the day by the Raiders.
Yeah, he'd already dropped that ball before Brooks got there. Gannon got the ball to the open man. Raiders right now with some slippery fingers.
Aragouz to Carl Williams from his 36.
Needs a block. He got it.
He got a block. Gets it out near midfield. Brought down by Kenny Shedd. Carl Williams about a play away from breaking that one all the way. 51 yards on the punt, 12 yards on the return. Next week is 2 critical matchups in our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Randy Moss and the Vikings clash with the New York Football Giants. Then the Packers head down to Tampa to battle the NFC Central leading Bucs, plus regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on Fox.
And with the win here today, Kirk, Tampa Bay clinches that NFC Central. And then
they clinch a playoff spot.
They clinch a playoff spot. What they're trying to clinch is trying to clinch a first-round bye. Win that Central, and maybe them in St. Louis also get that first-round bye. That's what they would hope for.
And they've got a chance their best field position of the day, starting from their own 48. Allstott deep in the eye. Gets the handoff. Ball is out.
Ball's out.
Picked up. Charles Woodson, excuse me. Sean King makes the tackle, but another fumble by Mike Allstott, who has had that trouble for 2 years. Allstott led all 9 quarterbacks last year in fumbles, leads them this year.
Well, one of the problems with Mike Allstott is it's so hard to bring him down. He's always pushing the pile, but you get a lot of arms in there grabbing him. Against Kansas City about a month ago, he fumbled 3 times in this game. One real critical one late in the 4th quarter when they could have put the game on ice. And since then, he hasn't fumbled. Been very careful with the football the last month.
3 fumbles then, 1 today, coughs it up, gives the Raiders the ball at the 30. Tyrone Wheatley across the 20. Tyrone Wheatley goes all the way for the score. .30 yards on the run by Tyrone Wheatley.
Wheatley showing power and speed for a big man, and Charles Woodson got it started with the fumble recovery. Woodson, who went out with when he got hit in that private area a couple of series ago, looks like he fully recovered from that.
Del Nedney on for the extra point. He gets it, and the Raiders take a 17-0 lead. Mike Allstott's 6th fumble of the year, the biggest play in this short drive. He turns it over, Woodson with a nice return, and then Tyrone Wheatley runs it in from 30 yards out.
So one of the problems with Mike Allstott, with him fumbling, is it's so hard to bring him down. When he's carrying that pile and pushing it, a lot of arms are able to get in and strip that ball away. I couldn't tell who did it. I thought it was Harvey at the bottom of that pile.
Well, that's the run back that set up on the first play, the Tyrone Wheatley run.
Excellent block by the right guard, Barry Sims, taking John Lynch out of the play and giving him the cutback lane to Wheatley.
We mentioned Allstott leads all non-quarterbacks in fumbles this year. He led them last year as well, had only 5 all last season, and led all non-quarterbacks. This year, he's got 6. And that's something that the Oakland Raiders were aware of this week and practiced, stripping the ball away from Mike Allstott.
Yeah, what Tony Dungy said was, you know, I don't want him to change his aggressiveness. I want him to run the way he's always run. But right now, with 6 fumbles, you know, something has to change in the way he's carrying the football and the way he's tucking it away. He's trying to scrap for those extra yards, and the ball is out away from his body, and that's when guys are able to get their hands in there.
Nedney with the kickoff. Riedel Anthony. Up the sideline and knocked out of bounds. Jermaine Williams with the tackle. Tyrone Wheatley's resurgence continues here in Oakland.
Well, he's on his way to 100 yards here in the first half, Kurt.
10 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown.
And, you know, when you are able to get that turnover and capitalize immediately, you get both sides of the ball. The offense and the defense, both of them get jacked up. The fans get jacked up, you know, and you're able to put more pressure, you know, on the opposition. This toughest situation that Sean King has been in since being named the starter.
In a 17-0 hole with 3:42 to play here in the first half. Allstott deep in the eye again. Gets the carry. Hit in the backfield. Grady Jackson.
Well, you know, the first thing you do when a guy fumbles the ball is give it right back to him. Make sure that his confidence isn't shattered. Patrick Cape here with the lead block. That's Grady Jackson coming in for Russell Merrill and quick to the ball. And the Raiders just look quicker than the Bucs do right now. He came right behind the choke block of Tony Mayberry, beating him to the punch and taking that inside running game away from the Bucs.
Allstott loses 4 yards. He's alone in the backfield. Flags down.
False start. Offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's the 12-year man, Paul Gruber.
Gruber over here at the left tackle. Very difficult to hear that signal going from King to him in this noise. And on the road, and that's part of what all visiting teams have to deal with in these stadiums. When the bells start ringing here in Oakland, the fans are crazy for it.
2nd and 19 now. King throws it high. Warren Dunn can't pull it in. Incomplete.
Now this Raiders defense, Kurt, we saw them, you know, against Tennessee 10 days ago, and they pitched a shutout against Tennessee in the first half of that game.
But it was 0-0 at halftime.
0-0 at halftime. 3 opportunities to score in that first half. The missed field goals and the fumble by Gannon. But this defense at times has been dominant this season. What happened to them against Tennessee was they had played 4 games in 18 days, and they just physically got worn down and tired. But they look very fresh and a lot of bounce in their step right here in this game.
3rd down for the Buccaneers. They need the 33-yard line for the first. Sean King out of the shotgun. Gets it off. Warren Dunn out of the backfield. Up to the 24-yard line. A gain of 10. Going to be far short of what's needed for the first.
And the other thing this Raider team is doing today is they're tackling well. They had over 20 missed tackles against the Titans 10 days ago. today, very good in the open field, bringing down these Bucs.
And the coaching staff said they missed about 23 tackles, most of those in the second half.
Oh, yeah, Willie Shaw was embarrassed, the defensive coordinator.
Darian Gordon back to take the punt. Lets it bounce. Takes a Raider hop. The Raiders going to start with excellent field position once again. Only 36 yards on the punt by Royals. Takes us to the 2-minute warning. Raiders on top, 17-0. The Bay Buccaneers trailing at 17-0. Just under 2 minutes left here in the first half. Mike Allstott feeling pretty bad right now. His fumble leading to the last touchdown by the Raiders.
And all he's thinking about right now is, I need another opportunity to go out on that field and make a play and make up for it.
Oakland, first down from the 41. Gannon in trouble, gets it off. Incomplete.
Well, if he's not outside the tight end
exactly.
box.
Yeah, that's the question right now.
Grounding.
The Raiders are, the Buccaneers are arguing that he was not outside the tackle box.
Well, Brad Culpepper had him. You know, Culpepper's going to be coming here. And he's going to get him around his waist right now. Right. Well, when he has him in his grasp, it looks like he's inside that tight end box. And Gannon just threw that ball and got rid of it, which should have been a flag.
It's called an incompletion. This one not. Tyrone Wheatley grabbed it at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard pickup. Donnie Abraham on the tackle. Clock continues to run.
I'm impressed by Rich Gannon. I've been impressed by him all season. And watching him out here today, really, you know, the best year of his career. But he said, you know, it doesn't make any difference. We're 6-7. You know, we're on the cusp of being eliminated from the playoffs. And he's had teams in Kansas City and Minnesota go to the playoffs.
Where he didn't perform as well individually, statistically at least. They need to get to the Buccaneer 49 for the first. In the grass, brought down by Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp, his 12th and a half sack of the season.
That's a new career high for him. He just keeps extending it.
The defense not able to make very many plays. Watch him work on the outside here of Steve Wisniewski. Doesn't get any help from Mo Collins that time. Of course, the pressure that forced Gannon to step inside allowed him to feed him to Warren Sapp.
Well, the Buccaneers call a timeout after that.
That was the best series that this Buck defense has had all afternoon.
Without question.
And Sapp and Culpepper, you know, have been a two-man wrecking crew all year inside at that defensive tackle position.
Well, our four-man wrecking crew coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. And it's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. 1:15 left to play here in the first half. Raiders on top 17-0. Neil Araguz sets the punt. And a chance to return. Paul Williams. There are feet flying all over the place. I saw more feet upside down on that one than at a gymnastics competition, looks like. Greg Vickert on the tackle, 36 yards on the punt. Williams returned it for 9, but there are flags down.
I see Paul Gruber walking back for the huddle, going against Tampa Bay here. Again,
illegal use of the hands against the Buccaneers.
Oh, again, the Bucs starting in poor field position.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back, above the waist, number 58. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty called on Don Davis. The defensive tackles this afternoon, Culpepper and Sapp, number 1 in the league as far as sacks go. Maryland and Russell.
Look at it. They
tied
sit
for third.
Yeah, they sit right next to each other on the bench. They're inseparable. Culpepper is the lawyer. He's the one that calls the signals.
King out of the shotgun. Warwick Dunn. Caught from behind.
Look at Darrell Russell get back to make that play after rushing the passer, circling back, using his speed, and getting in on the tackle.
King going to work out of the shotgun. Clock continues to wind down. Pass complete. Caught by Carl Williams. Good enough for a Buccaneer first down. Bucs call timeout. Greg Beekert with the tackle, but that's just the third first down of the day for the Buccaneers.
Sean will go over and talk to the quarterback coach, new quarterback coach this year, Clyde Christensen. We spoke with him yesterday. He was just named to that position this offseason. Kind of caught him by surprise. Both Mike Shula along with Tony Dungy said, look, we know that we're going to draft a quarterback, and we know we're going to release Steve Walsh and bring a new quarterback in. So it's 2 new quarterbacks. You know, we need a guy to work with him each and every day, at practice, in the meetings.
Christensen already on the staff, last year's tight ends coach.
And, of course, you know, Clyde got to know Sean King along with this entire staff at the Senior Bowl last year, where the Tampa Bay staff coached the South Side. And he said, you know, what a world of difference it was coaching that and being around Sean King and Martin Gramatica and Anthony McFarland, guys they ended up drafting after watching them day in, day out at practice and meetings. And they were impressed by what they saw, and they ended up drafting accordingly.
Well, King is the man right now, first down from the 38. Raiders still trying to shift their defense into position when the Bucs get the play off. Carl Williams makes the grab.
They got to kill this right here. They got to kill this ball. Sean King's not going to kill it. He's calling a play, and he's burning a lot of seconds right now doing it.
And they gain 9 yards on the play. King to the sideline. Riedel Anthony out of bounds. No catch.
Nice decision, though, by Sean King to go to the sidelines, where he's going to have a chance at least to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Ball's a little bit high here. Gets his right foot in. Left foot.
Couldn't drag it.
Yeah. A little too far. Let's get that. Oh, ooh. I don't know if the tip of that left
maybe
foot
got dragged.
Replay is decided by the officials in the booth in the last 2 minutes of each half. That left toe might have touched the grass right.
It looks like it maybe did.
Might have dragged.
But they don't call it. King. Under 10 seconds to play. Pass. Batted down. Incomplete. Charles Woodson. Lance Johnstone had the pressure on, but Woodson making an excellent play. Well, they run another play now, so this play really doesn't matter.
No,
but they can't change it.
Good angle right here.
That's hard to tell.
Very different. Maybe a blade that wasn't cut touched the shoe. I don't know if that would have been indisputable evidence, even if they did redo it. Nevertheless, Tampa Bay down to their last play here of the first half. See a Hail Mary formation on the left.
3 receivers up top. Over the middle. Little pass.
He's got
hook and ladder. Well done. Brought down to the 13-yard line by Charles Woodson, but a little razzle-dazzle from the Bucs. They complete the pass to Jaquez Green, and he dumps it off to Warren Dunn. Couldn't get it done. Raiders lead at 17-0 at
17-0. And you look at this, the Buccaneers, all they had to do was win this game, and they're in the playoffs. Oakland's making it awfully tough for them to get this victory.
Well, I think that's the secret right there, Kirk. All they had to do.
Right.
That's a lot in this league, to go on the road and win. And the Raiders, you know, they had that outside shot for the playoffs. You know, they're playing like they should be in the playoffs.
Well, their defense has really dominated this afternoon in the first half, not allowing, really, the Buccaneers to get anything going offensively, period, from the start.
Well, Mike Allstott has run 5 times. He has no yards and a fumble. Those 2 defensive tackles inside, Maryland and Darrell Russell, they're controlling that line of scrimmage. And here's the one turnover, returned by Charles Woodson, followed up the next play by Tyrone Wheatley's touchdown run.
And the Raiders' defensive dominance shown on the scoreboard. The Buccaneers, 89 total yards in the first half, 40 of that on that hook and ladder right before halftime, the last play.
But, you look at that rushing yards of the Buccaneers, and that's their identity. That's what they want to do, is run the football. Well, down 17-0 with 30 minutes to go, this ball is going to be in Sean King's hands. They're going to win or lose it with Sean, and it's going to be up to that Raider defense if they can apply the same pressure to prevent that from happening.
Our Brian Weber had a chance to talk with Buccaneers head coach Tony Dungy during the break.
Tony, your team has rallied all year long. What's it going to take to come back this afternoon?
Well, we're going to have to play good football in the second half and mount some drives. We haven't gotten much going offensively.
There's 4 offensive first downs. How do you hope to get more production in the second half?
We've got to be better on first down. Got to get our running game going on first down. I think we still have time to run the football.
Thanks for your time.
Well, Tony Dungy, hoping that Sean King can get something going. He says he thinks they still have time to run the football, but Sean King
passing the ball 37 times last week. You would think down 17-0, he'd be in that neighborhood again with the second half this week.
We saw, you know, how many times he attempted that pass in the shotgun. Very comfortable in the shotgun. That's the offense he ran at Tulane. And last week, really, they couldn't get the running game going against the Lions as well. They put it in Sean's hands to throw it, and that's how they won the game.
Riedel Anthony takes a short kickoff from the 4. Out across the 30-yard line. Flags are down. Anthony's down at the 35, brought down by Travion Smith. Let's see what the penalty flags are.
Yeah, it's going to come back again. Going to pin the Bucs again in a situation,
Holding.
long field position.
Receiving team, number 50. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty called on Jeff Gooch.
Yeah.
Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, asking him, what are you doing?
Yeah. But, you know, you go into the locker room at halftime and you try to make some corrections and some adjustments. You get your mental psyche all up for the second half to come out, and then, you know, you push a guy in the back to start the second half. That's not what you want.
Sean King just 1 of 5 passing in the first half for 0 yards.
And he starts in the shotgun here.
That one complete. Jacquez Green.
You know, one thing that the shotgun can do for a quarterback, you know, you're committing to the pass. Allstott, even kind of a funny-looking wide receiver on Charles Woodson. Woodson hopes he doesn't get that ball.
Try to confuse him maybe, huh?
Yeah, they're going to spread this field. 5 wide receivers are going to let Sean, you know, pick his spots here. One thing the shotgun can do is it allows the quarterback to get into a good rhythm.
They gain 7 yards. Warwick Dunn deep in the eye. Kind of bobbles it a bit, but holds it in. Gets the first down. Out across the 25, about the 27-yard line for a gain of 6.
Now, one thing about this Raider defense in that first half, you know, they weren't on the field very much. So they've got to be fresh here in the second half. Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott. Allstott, good lead block, and Dunn trying to find that big play capability he demonstrated his first 2 years in this league. Last week with the 68-yard screen pass that set up a touchdown.
First rushing first down of the day for the Buccaneers. King. Ball comes out, and he's picked up. Lance Johnstone takes it into the end zone for the Raider touchdown. For the second week in a row, Sean King has the ball pop out on him before he even throws the pass.
Yeah, and Kurt, you know, we talked to him yesterday. He's got small hands, and he admits it. This ball, you're going to see a blitz right now of Eric Barton. It gets picked up by Allstott. Sean King right here, it's the same thing that happened to him last week on 4th and 1. Went to throw that ball, and the ball just slipped right out of his hand. Nobody hit that ball. There wasn't pressure on him. 2 weeks in a row now, careless with the football.
Joe Nedney on for the extra point. He gets it. And without an offensive possession, the Raiders extend their lead to 24-0. 12 yards on the fumble recovery for the score. Early in the third quarter, Oakland on top 24-0 of Tampa Bay. Fumble by Sean King led to the 12-yard fumble return for the touchdown by Lance Johnstone. The second defensive touchdown of the season for the Raiders. Warwick Dunn back for the kickoff. He bottles it. Then free at the 20-yard line. Brought down at the 23 by Calvin Branch. 14 yards in return. King gets another shot. First start on the road, having a rough start to it. Early in the third quarter, down 24-0. Last time he touched the ball, it led to a Raider touchdown.
Well, uncharted territory for Sean King, and we'll see how he reacts under this type of pressure on the road, hostile environment.
He's known for his cool, calm demeanor. He'll need it to bring the Buccaneers back in this one. From the 23, 2 tight ends in. Mike Allstott. He fumbled in the first half, led to another Raider score. Gets the carry. Charles Mincy, the former Buccaneer, with the tackle. We mentioned last time he touched the ball. You go back to last week against Detroit, same thing happened.
Well, this is what John Madden was saying last week, that he has small hands. We asked him about it, and he said, yeah, I do. And here it is, 2 weeks in a row now. This ball just slipped right out of his hand. No, I mean, it can't be sweaty. It's basically the first series of the second half. Nothing on that football. And Lance Johnstone will take it back and return his third fumble for a touchdown in his career.
Got a measurement here on the carry by Allstott. Good enough for the first down. He gained 10 yards, but you know, that was kind of the knock against Sean King. The reason he lasted to the second round, he measured at the combine just below 6 feet, small hands. People ignored some of the things he did in college and looked at the things he couldn't do, and that was one of them.
Well, I saw him probably play 6 or 7 games at Tulane when he was in college. I never saw that happen to him. Never saw the ball just slip out of his hands. In fact, his senior year, he played 9 games with a broken left wrist.
Buccaneers get the first down. King to the air. Ball tipped. Flags down as well. But James Harris got a hand on that ball at the line of scrimmage. Tony Corrente, the referee, discussing things with his crew.
Yeah, against the Bucs here. Offensive pass interference.
That's the 6th penalty of the day against Tampa Bay versus none for the Raiders.
They're looking at Dave Moore, the tight end. John Gruden wants to take this penalty and back him up.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 83. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Dave Moore fighting to try and become part of the passing game. And he's right over here. Picks it for the underneath receiver to come free. Bert Emanuel. I don't know if that was an intentional pick. I think Dave Moore is I think he's just trying to clear things out.
You get that big body, it's hard to move it out of the way sometimes. So it's a 1st and 20 for the Bucs. Warwick Dunn. They decide to keep running it. Gets it out to the 24-yard line for a gain of 1.
I see Russell Maryland getting up off the pile. Part of those Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl teams, been out here now for about 3 years, and still hasn't. An all-effort guy. Watching him in practice, Russell Maryland will make plays down on the ground. He forced the fumble on Allstott in the second quarter. And I think Darrell Russell, his partner next to him, has learned a lot from how to prepare for a football game and what it takes to be a professional.
Boy, they have just stopped the running game of the Bucs so far today. Allstott spread out at the bottom of the screen. Pass tipped once again at the line of scrimmage. Once again, James Harris.
And once again, Kurt, you're seeing some of the flaws maybe in Sean King that you don't see at home with that crowd behind you and the defense playing great. Here's Harris over here working against Jerry Wunsch. He's just spanning that protection to that side, working on Frank Middleton, and Sean King under 6 feet tall. Second block pass in this drive.
And Harris is 6'6". Played college basketball for a year at Temple.
Both those Temple defensive ends playing well out here today. Johnstone and Harris both. And when would you ever think of that? 2 Temple defensive ends starting for a professional football team.
You wouldn't think of Temple for football. Flags down. They need the 43 for the first. Play clock ran out before the ball got snapped. Going to be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Kurt, one of the things here, this week, a lot of frustration on the outside. You see Frank Middleton going at it with Lance Johnstone there. Kind of like a wild haymaker. This Buccaneer team just came off winning 2 big emotional games on a Monday night, and then following that last Sunday was a big second-half comeback. You see a letdown going on here today.
They've got 4 receivers out on this one. King buys some time, gets it off. Pass almost intercepted. Intended for Carl Williams, but there's Charles Mincy, the former Buck, trying to make his team pay.
Charles started 16 games for the Bucs last year. Real familiar with this offense and with these receivers. You see double coverage here with Beaker down the middle. Carl Williams, though, right here, needs to get that ball earlier.
Buccaneers now 0 for 7 on third down attempts today. Mark Royal to Darian Gordon from his 41. Across midfield, still on his feet. Finally brought down. Al Singleton with the tackle. 39 yards on the punt. A 12-yard return by Gordon. And the Raiders take over.
Howie Long's jersey right there, number 75. Wore it proudly here for a lot of years. And he's got his neck collar. Howie always had that neck collar. He adjusted it after every play. But this guy right here, he's got a friend with him, too.
Did he have to pay for a ticket for that guy?
I don't know. You know, the fans are loyal here.
Tyrone Wheatley gives him plenty to be happy about. A 12-yard gain.
He's favored that right side all day. Had the touchdown run of 30 yards over the right side. That's Lincoln Kennedy and Barry Sims over there. I mean, Wheatley hasn't been touched until he gets to the line of scrimmage. Now you see where he's running here today. Nothing to the left. A lot of action over to the right and then down the middle.
Those are the first half numbers. Had 70 yards. 12 yards on his first carry here in the second half. 11 carries, 82 total for Wheatley. Rich Jennings, pass complete. James Jett.
Now they're mixing it up good. Now, the Tampa Bay corners play soft, and by that I mean they play off. 8 to 10 yards off, and Gannon is seeing that. He's getting rid of the ball real quickly. It also takes a good arm to get it out there. See, all his buddies, they autographed that shield too. Yeah, that's all autographed in signature.
All his buddies or all the players? Or are they the same people? After the 5-yard pass to Jett, Tyrone Wheatley gets it again.
Hey, you know what, Kurt? He said, not all my runs go to the right or to the middle. I'll change up. I'll show those Fox guys in that graphic what I can do. I'll bounce it to the left.
As soon as we give away a secret, huh?
Yeah. Give John Ritchie, the fullback, a lot of credit. And Wheatley just stiff-arming Donnie Abraham that time. Damian Robinson forced to push him out after another first down.
13 more yards for Wheatley. Check out Tim Brown.
Yeah. Oh, nice seal. Yeah, nice seal on the headhunter, John Lynch. No gap control by the Buccaneer defense.
First down from the 23, Napoleon Kaufman. Bounces off a couple of guys. Delton Quarles with the tackle.
I tell you, Kurt, a good young player on this Raider team that's really come on. Great pass receiver is the fullback, John Ritchie, who's doing a good job in space of finding the man he's responsible for, which isn't easy on the run. Last time led Napoleon Kaufman right into the hole. Guy that transferred from Michigan and went to school out here at Stanford. He's one of those Raiders, though. A little loopy, a little off the wall.
Guy he ate grass off of Jimmy Hendrix. Great. Hey, Napoleon Kaufman digging deep into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. 17 yards.
Here's John Ritchie. What'd you say? He ate grass off of Jimmy Hendricks's tomb? There it is. Right on Hardy Nickerson, the middle linebacker. Hardy nowhere near that play because of the lead block. Ritchie, nice job of gathering himself and sealing him. You don't have to win. You don't have to crush guys.